Hey, deck, deck profile. That's how I'm gonna start it. And no to PewDiePie. Time! Let's go! Yeah, so if it wasn't for Anthony bugging the hell out of me, to make the deck profile, I probably wouldn't have, because he asked me once and I just kind of brushed it off. I didn't really want to make the deck profile because I don't really think I should. It's what is that? What does that say? In Oh yeah, that's right. Endymion deck profile. It's your boy Fusion. I'm not even Fusion Fireball. That's the thing. Like I'm Rhisc Quinn, not Fusion Fireball. Like that's just awkward. Don't take that off. Take that off the paper. Like take it off. I can cut it. I can cut it. Yeah, don't worry. Anyway, so I'm at work and Anthony's blowing up my phone. He's sending me all these weird text messages. I mean, take a look at this. Like, it's fucking like, what are you out of your mind? What are you out of your mind? And I'm just there. I'm like, I look at my phone and I see all these messages. I have like 50 messages and like 8 missed calls from this guy, and I just had enough. So here I am, gonna make the deck profile of Endymion. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So it's 41 cards. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the extra deck complete. So when I played this deck at locals, I played with, I think there's like 13 in here, or 12. On the extra deck, I think the extra deck is the only thing that I need to finish. But other than that, everything is in here. We'll start off with the main deck. I cannot tell you off the top of my head how many monsters, how many spells, but it is 41 cards, and you're just gonna have to trust me. So let's start. This is the deck profile. So we're gonna play 3 of the sermons, and that's it. So thanks for watching, guys. Deuces. So this is how we're gonna start. We're gonna start off with the pretty much, I wouldn't say the main card of the deck, just because of it's the way you can combo into it. It's a 3 servant. I guess I'll explain what the cards do as I go. So whenever if it's sitting on the pendulum zone, whenever you activate a spell, you can put 1 counter on it, and then whenever it has 3, you can get rid of those 3 counters and then special summon it from your pendulum zone onto your main monster zone. And then when you do that, you special summon a monster from your deck with 1,000 or more attack, that you can place a spell counter on. So I guess your key targets would be, well, I'll get to that right now. And then the monster effect does not really matter. But yeah, the monsters that you will go into would be the Master of Magic, the Endymion Mighty Master of Magic. You can special summon him, or you can special summon mainly the Jackal King, but I'll get to him in a second. So he has the effect of, when he's sitting on the pendulum zone, you can remove 6 spell counters from any side of your board, and then you can summon it. I think that's literally all the effect. And then when it's on the field, if it has a spell counter, it can't be targeted by your card effect or your opponent's card effects or something like that. And then you can remove, or when your opponent activates a spell card, you can remove You can bounce back a card from your field that has a spell counter to your hand, and then negate it. That's all he does. And then 1 Jackal King. That's all you really need. Never used it in the Pendulum, so I'm not even going to bother with the Pendulum effect. His monster effect is what is juicy. It's you can remove... whenever a spell is activated, you can remove 2 spell counters, or you can add... whenever a spell is activated, you add 2 spell counters to it, and then during the player's turn, whenever a monster effect is activated, you can remove 2 spell counters from this card, and then you can negate the effect and destroy. That is it. It's a very powerful card. Very, very powerful. That is this whole spell counter lineup that I play. And then for the magicians, I'm playing 3 harmonizing. Her pendulum effect is just your monsters gain 100 attack for each magician monster in your extra deck that is face up. And then its monster effect is that when it's pendulum summon from your hand, because it can't be pendulum summon from the extra deck, you can special summon a magician monster from your deck, and then it is banished during the end phase. Or not banished during the end phase, but it is banished when it leaves the field. But it doesn't, that effect doesn't really matter. The juicy part is that you summon an extra monster from your deck, and that is like the best part of it. Playing 2 of the Black Fang. You can pop it if it's on your pendulum. You can pop it and then have the attack of a monster your opponent controls. And then if it dies, you can do something that I do not know. You just target a spellcaster from your graveyard and special summon it. I never use the effect because it just doesn't occur to me to use it, because I never have, I guess, a monster in the graveyard, because they all go to the extra deck. I never bother reading his monster effect because that's irrelevant to me. And then 2 purple poison. She also has a similar effect when you can pop her from the pendulum zone, and then you can target one of your monsters, one of your dark spellcaster type monsters, and it gains 1200 attack. And then when it dies, like when it's destroyed by a card effect or by battle, you can target a face-up card on the field and destroy it, I think. Something like that. Which is really good. I play 3 Chronograph Sorcerers. He's really good. Whenever a card is destroyed, whenever a card is destroyed on your side of the field, you can special summon it from your hand, and then you can special summon 1 monster from your hand. That is so good because it does not specify the typing, the level, the attack, the fucking defense. It does not matter. It doesn't negate the effects. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't get destroyed. It just, you summon it from your hand. Who cares? This is kind of your combo extender. Whenever you pop one of your magicians, or when you pop something with Electromite, this can be your combo extender, like Forshers. And his monster effect is... I never used the... I mean, whatever. Anyway, 1 Draco or Dragon Caller Magician. I use the effect on the pendulum. I don't really care for his monster effect. His pendulum effect, when it's sitting there, you can target any monster you control and then make it a dragon type. So if you don't happen to run into your Darkworm, you can just turn anything into a dragon, and then you can do your plays from there. And I'm playing 1 Time Gazer, just because it's another target for a magician, and its effect is pretty cool. Your what's it called? Your pendulums can't be destroyed once per turn or something like that. I really don't care. Just use it as a material. 2 Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser. This dude is pretty good. If you do have the servant on your pendulum, you can just activate this for free and then special summon it, and then you just have a free monster. You have a free spell counter, and then you have a free monster. And it's a special summon, and you can only use it once per duel. Whatever. it's a really good card. And yeah, that's pretty much the spellcaster lineup. This is a Fiend, just fucking say it to spellcaster. And then we're gonna play 3 of the Dark Worm. When it's, I don't really care about its pendulum effect. I never use it. It's a monster effect when it's in the graveyard. You can, if you have no monsters on board, you can special summon it, and then whenever this monster is normal or special summoned, you can add this card. You can pretty much add a Supreme King Dragon something from your deck. But this is your target. This is literally your main target. You can't add another copy of itself. Honestly, I don't care about its effect, its monster effect, or its pendulum effect. I don't use them. It has something to do with their Supreme King archetype. I just use them for the scale, and it's a dragon, and it does, it's there. I'm playing 101 of the Pendulum Dragon, the Draco Slayers. This I hardly ever use. I end up always siding it out because it's so useless, but it's a dragon, it's a level 4, and it's a tuner. And it's there for just for the dragon, and it's a pendulum. It's actually pretty good sometimes, but I always end up siding it out. I wish I just didn't play it, but I like it. And then this is what I like most, because it's another spell counter for free, and I destroy it, and it's just a free monster on my extra deck. Okay. One of the Aether, when it's special summon, normal or special summon, you can banish a face up, or not a face up, but a monster on your opponent's side of the field. That's it. 23 beat stick. Its scale sucks. Yeah. Its pendulum effect has something to do with its archetype. I have no idea what it does. Something about destroying a card. But yeah, one Destrudo. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I get to Destrudo, I don't even have to explain Destrudo. Fucking Destrudo's fucking stupid broken. So it's kind of bad drawing into this. You don't want to draw into it. I mean, I know you don't have a choice if you draw into it. You can't fucking shuffle it back in your deck unless somebody shuffles it for you by, like, unwillingly. But you kind of want to summon with the Heretic Link. You just summon it and you banish a monster. It's kind of like what you want to do. And then Destrudo. Yeah. So for the spells, I'm playing a 3 spell power mastery. You can add an Endymion card from your deck, and then it's crazy. Duelist Alliance. I didn't even have to explain that card. You just put a fucking spell counter, and that's it. Do 2 Duelist Alliance. If you have a Pendulum card on your Pendulum Zone, you can add a Pendulum card, Pendulum Monster, or a Pendulum. When I say Pendulum Monster, it's in quotations a Pendulum Monster or a Pendulum spell or trap. So when I say Pendulum Monster, it does very much specify that it has to be a Pendulum Monster. It can't literally be any Pendulum Monster, but it's like these. Like, that's a Master Pendulum and like Luster Pendulum. Like, it has to specify in the name that it says Pendulum. So you could either add one of the Draco Slayers, or you can add the Pendulum Call, whatever tickles your fancy. Pendulum Call, you discard 1 and you add 2 Magicians from your deck, and then you cannot activate this card if you use Magician's effect. But if you use this first and then whatever you add, you can use however many effects of Magicians you want. Does not matter. And then your pendulums are safe from being destroyed for a turn. It's always good to discard the Dark Worm, obviously, or Destrudo. Doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes it doesn't even matter what you discard, because your hand can be just so busted that you don't even care. 3 Allure of Darkness. I'm playing this instead of Pot of Desires because I don't want to banish. anything from my deck. I kind of, you know, want to keep everything in the deck rather than banish it. I know Part of Desires is a really good card, but I would rather banish 1 card from my hand than 10 cards from my deck. I know it is, you know, shaving 10 cards off my deck, but what if those cards, what if I needed one of those key cards that I banished? Like, what if I need, you know what I mean? Like, it's such a better card. Everything in the deck, every monster is a dark monster, except for these 2 and the, this, I don't fucking, wind, what the 1 Dragon Shrine and 1 Foolish, and then 1 Upstart. You don't play traps in the main. You don't need to. It is a you just don't need to. So I'm gonna actually go over the side deck before I go into the extra deck. For the side, I'm playing 3 Ash Blossom. You kind of want to side this going second. If you went first, well, I mean, it doesn't matter. Game 2, and you're going, and you know you're gonna go second. You want to side this in, because if you side this in and you're going first, it's literally useless because you don't need it. Your hand is going to disappear as soon as you go first. You're going to go into your combo, you're going to go all out. You don't need this if you're going first. Trust me, it's going to clog your hand. You're going to get rid of it somehow. Don't side it if you're going first. If you're going second, side it. It's amazing. 3 Lancia. Also, let me just go ahead and mention that this side in specific is just for the locals that I'm playing because of the game style or the gameplay that they choose to play. These would be Droll and Lockbirds, not this. 3 Lancia prevents your opponent from banishing. You just discard it. It has to be during their turn. 2 Chaos Hunters. This card's really good. And then I'm playing the 1 of Dragon Pit. This kind of just gets rid of floodgates. It's really good. You pitch a monster. You play the 1 of, I play 1 of just to get rid of the floodgates. I actually didn't even get to use it because I never drew into it. And then 3 Dengoseka because of, like I said, locals have a lot of back row decks, such as Becerra's. He plays a lot of back row, and this says no. And then playing 3 Red Reboot. I'm not playing the evenly matched. Because I would like my battle phase. Thank you very much. Even if I'm going second, it's just so the odds of drawing into it is just kind of really low. And I wouldn't trust it, and it's an expensive card, so I don't want to buy it. So Red Reboot is a much better card for me, in my opinion. It did come in clutch a few times in the at locals. Came in clutch, and it's really good. And now for the extra deck. It's pretty simple. Wow. So 1 of these, it's a thing. It's 2 pendulum monsters, level 4. And when it's XE summoned, you add a pendulum monster from your deck at the end phase. And then its second effect is irrelevant. 1 Tornado Dragon. What I'm missing is a Dweller and a Cowboy now that I realize, but I think I'm missing more. But Tornado Dragon, pop card. Fuck, back row. 1 Electromite. This is the it's pretty much the star card of the deck. 2 edits at 1. When it's Link Summon, you can add a Pendulum monster from your deck to your extra deck, and then you can pop 1 card from your side of the field, and then add a face-up monster from your extra deck to your hand. And then whenever a card is destroyed on your side of the field, you draw a card. Pretty much simple, and its scales are pointing that way. This is a B-Cop is just if Electromite doesn't go through, I have another scale that has, you know, the things. One Triple Burst, just for the combo. Don't care about its effects, don't use it. One LP brings out your where you have to have like this and then this out on the field, so it'd be like this, and then you with this you bring out Destrudo, and then you link the Destrudo and the Triple Burst, and then you bring out this thing, and then this thing will bring out this, but I'll get there in a second. And then the Heretic Seal, which would you tribute, and then you bring out the Aether from your deck and you bench a card. Really cool. And then one Odd-Eyes Vortex, you summon it with the other thing. When it's special summoned, not fusion summoned, when it's special summoned, you get to bounce a monster on your opponent's side of the field, and it's all good. And then during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card effect, you shuffle a Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your deck, and then negate it. And then for the synchros, the only card that I actually synchro summon, this thing, the Dawn whatever, it's also just a negate. You just decrease its level by 2, and yeah, you negate a card. Another card that I don't go into, like I don't synchro summon into it, but I could bring it out with that other guy. And then this thing just to negate. You know, as you can see, it has a lot of negates. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. So I would play, I would want to play Saryuja, Dweller, and maybe not Cowboy, but maybe Boral Sword. But yeah, that's the deck profile, man. I mean, hope you like it. It's been like fucking 20 minutes. I'm gonna have to fucking edit this shit. Fuck, it's hot. What the fuck? What the fuck? It's fucking hot. Fuck this.